May 18, 1926. Just as the Virgin, to obtain the longed-for Redeemer and conceive him, had to embrace everything, and do the acts of everyone, so whoever must obtain the supreme fiat, must embrace everyone and respond for everyone. I was merging in the holy divine will. And while I had rotated through all created things to seal in them my I love you, so that everywhere and above everyone my I love you would resonate to correspond to my Jesus through his so much love. I have reached that point of corresponding to my God for all that love he had in the act of being conceived in the womb of the Heavenly Mother. While I was doing this, my beloved Jesus came out from within me and told me, my daughter, my inseparable mother, to conceive me, the eternal Word, was enriched with seas of grace, light and holiness by the Supreme Majesty, and she performed such and many acts of virtue, of love, of prayer, of desires and ardent sighs, of surpassing all the love, virtue and acts of all generations that were needed to obtain the longed-for Redeemer. Then, when I saw in the Sovereign Queen the complete love of all creatures and all the acts that were necessary to merit the Word to be conceived, I found in her the correspondence of the love of all, our glory restored, and all the acts of the redeemed. Even those to whom my redemption was to serve as a condemnation for their ingratitude, and then my love made its final release and I was conceived. That is why the right to the name of mother for her is connatural, it is sacred, because by embracing all the acts of the generations, substituting herself for all, it happened as if she had given birth to all of them to new life from her maternal wombs. Now you must know that when we do our works, the creature that is chosen and to whom the work is entrusted, we must give it so much love, light, grace, that it can give us all the correspondence and glory of the work entrusted to it. Our power and wisdom would not be placed from the beginning of one of our works on the bench of the creature as in the act of failing. So in the creature that is called as the first act, our work must remain secure in it. And we must rescue all the interest and glory equivalent to our work entrusted to her, and although later our work was communicated to other creatures, and due to their ingratitude it was in danger of failing, it is more tolerable for us. Because to whom it was entrusted at the beginning he made us rescue all the interest from the failures of the other creatures, this is why we gave everything and received everything from her. So that the entire capital of redemption could remain complete and through it our glory completed and our love reciprocated. What wise man puts his capital from the beginning in a bank that is about to fail? First he secures and then entrusts his capital, but it may be that over time it goes bankrupt. This cannot do it much harm, because due to the so much interest received, its capital has been rebuilt. If man does this, much more God, whose wisdom is incomprehensible, and it was not just any work, a small capital, but it was the great work of redemption and all the cost and infinite value. Incalculable value of the eternal Word, it was a unique work, a new descent of the eternal Word on earth could not be repeated, and that is why we had to secure it in the celestial sovereignty. And just as we entrust everything to her, even the life of a God itself, so she, as possessor of our trust, had to answer for us all, become guarantor and responsible for this divine life entrusted to her, as in fact she did. Now, my daughter, what I did and wanted from my Heavenly Mother in the great work of redemption, I want to do with you in the great work of the Supreme Fiat. The work of the divine fiat is a work that must embrace everything, creation, redemption and sanctification. This work is the basis of everything, it is the life that runs in everything and it contains everything. Because it has no beginning, it is the beginning of all things and end and fulfillment of our works. Look then, the capital that we want to entrust to you is exuberant, you have not calculated it, but do you know what we entrust to you in the Supreme Fiat? We entrust to you all creation, all the capital of redemption and that of sanctification, my will is universal and it has been active in all things, so what belongs to it is right to be entrusted to you. Would you perhaps want my will without its works? We do not know how to give our life without our works and goods. When we give everything, and just as to the celestial queen by giving the word concentrated in herself her works and her goods, so to you, by giving you our supreme will reigning and dominant in you we give you all the works that belong to her. That is why we are giving you so many thanks, knowledge, capacity, so that the supreme fiat, from the beginning, cannot receive any failure, and you, making it safe, must give it the correspondence of the love and glory of all creation, of redemption and of the sanctification, so your work is great. It is universal and must embrace everyone and everything, so that if our will communicated to other creatures suffers any setback, in you we must find compensation for the emptiness of others, and putting it safely in you. By giving us love, glory and all the acts that other creatures should give us, our glory will always be complete and our love will rescue its just interest. So we will also place our trust in you, you will be responsible for the divine will entrusted to you and its guarantor. Now, while Jesus was saying this, such fear has come to me and I understood the full weight of my responsibility, and strongly fearing that I could endanger nothing less than the entire weight and works of a divine will, I said, "My love, thank you for so much kindness from you towards me, but I feel that what you want to give me is too much. I feel an infinite weight that crushes me, and my smallness and inability have neither strength nor ability. And fearing that I might displease you and not being able to embrace everything, go to another more capable creature, so that all this capital of your supreme will can be more secure, and you can receive all the interest equivalent to such a large capital. I had never thought about such a great responsibility, but now that you make it clear to me, I feel like I lack strength and I fear for my weakness." And Jesus, holding me close to him to relieve me of the fear that crushed me, added, "My daughter, take courage, do not be afraid, it is your Jesus who wants to give you too much. Am I not perhaps the owner of giving you what I want? Do you want to put a limit on my complete work that I want to entrust to you? What would you say if my heavenly mother wanted to accept me, the eternal Word, without her goods and the acts that were needed to conceive me? Would this be true love, true acceptance? Certainly not. So you would like my will without its works and without the acts that suit it. You must know, in order for you to remove this fear, that everything that I have told you, that is, this very great capital, is already in you, and after I have made you take the practice of giving me the correspondence of glory and of the love of all creation, redemption and sanctification, making you embrace everything and everyone, and having seen that the due interest came easily to me. Now I wanted to make you know more clearly the great capital of my will that I have entrusted to you, finally that you know the great asset that you possess, and knowing it, I consign the deed of the capital entrusted to you and at the same time receive the interest that you give me. If you did not know it, neither the writing of the capital nor the receipt of the interest could be done, so here is the need to make it known to you, and furthermore, why are you afraid to even want to send me another creature? Don't you have in you a love that says I love you for everyone and for everything, a movement that corresponds to me through the movement of everyone and that everything you do embraces everyone to give me, as within a single hug, the actions, the prayers, glory, reparations for everyone? If you already do it, why are you afraid? While I was doing this I saw other souls around me, and Jesus went to them and seemed to touch them to see if the movement of their divine life came out at his touch, but nothing came out. Then he returned to me and taking my hand he shook it tightly, at his touch a light came out of me, and Jesus, all happy, told me, "This light is the movement of the divine life in you. I have gone to the other creatures, as you have seen, and I have not found my movement, so how can I trust them with the great capital of my will? That is why I have chosen you, and that is enough. Be attentive and do not fear.